Kia ora, welcome to week 3 of a series of weekly readings that I will be offering for the collective in the Akashic Records. This reading is for the week beginning 27th of November, and it's quite interesting because leading up to the Monday when I begin the reading for the week, I always have a theme circulating around me. I start getting impressions of what the reading is going to be about, and it's usually a theme based on something that's come up in my own personal life. So today I want to speak into the concept that our life is a mirror. Everything that we experience in our world, everything that comes into our reality, is a reflection of something that is within us. This does not mean that we should tolerate any form of abuse or disrespect. It's really important that we don't let our boundaries fall away in the name of this concept. Understanding that our life is a mirror does not mean that we throw any sense of personal boundaries, personal love and respect out the window. I think this is also reflected through the masculine and feminine dynamics. So the yin, the feminine, being very reflective and going away and contemplating, what do I need to look at here within? Is there some healing that needs to take place here? Some loving guidance, some loving space holding? And then the masculine yang energy can come in with his boundaries and hold that container for that reflective practice to happen. So both of these need to happen simultaneously for it to be an effective practice. Being reflective on what is coming into our world and what it might be here to communicate to us, whether that be parts of us that we haven't yet learned to love, or an experience that we still carry an energetic charge around, or an untrue belief. Another important aspect in this process is holding ourselves in gentleness and not in self-blame. Holding ourselves in self-love as opposed to berating ourselves for what may or may not have come in. We are not to blame for what comes into our world, but it is an opportunity to look within. And I'm nervous to share this because as someone who has spiraled so deeply in self-blame and shame, I don't want to share this and for you to do the same thing. But I also don't want you to miss out on the opportunity for empowerment that comes through taking responsibility for what comes into our world. Because I want all of us to be self-empowered, and that comes through taking self-responsibility. Even though you can bloody complain to your heart's extent, and you can love yourself in that, and that is bloody okay. You can hold yourself in love when you're doing that, and you can say, it's okay, of course you're feeling that way, this happened, and of course you're upset because they said that or they did that. And it's just really important that we're so gentle in this process. And I think that's where the potency of this practice gets lost, because people jump into self-blame and shame because we tend, as humans, we tend to look at the world through the lens of duality and polarity. And so then if we're not blaming them for what happened, well then what's the other option? We must blame ourselves. But no, that's not the case, and it's not true. It is absolutely entirely possible that we just actually take a step back and not blame anybody for what happened, that we don't even need to step into blame for the other person or towards ourselves, that we can look at it through the lens of what is. And yes, there will be feelings to feel, and you're entitled to those feelings, and love yourself in those feelings. And as I say, if there's blame or projection or upset, then absolutely express that. If that is your truth, if that is your authentic truth, to want to say certain things about someone that hurt you, or say certain things, or blame somebody, and that's your authentic truth, then do that. Do not gaslight yourself out of that process. Do whatever you need to express the hurt that is on your heart in a safe and gentle environment, gentle on yourself. And we can also contemplate, what would it look like to not place blame on anybody? Once the feelings are expressed, once the hurt has dissipated, why did this happen? Why did I have such an emotional reaction to what they said or did? Why am I having such an emotional reaction to what is happening in the world? Yes, that is wrong. Yes, that is not kind behavior. Yes, that is not in integrity. But let me feel into, what is this communicating to me? And that is where we take our self-responsibility back. And that is where we stop being victims to our external world, to what is happening around us. We mirror it back to ourselves and go, hey, once I've expressed it all, once I've got all that off my chest, what is this showing me? Why am I upset? And you can even do that in the process. You could go, okay, well, I'm crying because I saw this video about this and it deeply upset me when this happened. And then you can go, is there a part of me that would be upset if this happened to me? Am I fearful or worried that this will happen to me or my family? Does it remind me of when something similar happened to me, or when this happened to me? And so my invitation here is just to get really reflective. We can practice both the boundaries and the reflectiveness, as well as the authentic self-expression. This is how we take our power back. And the more that you can practice this, the more power you will pull back into your body, the more power you will take back. You're not leaving bits of yourself all over the show. You're not a victim to life with all these cords attached to all these things that could happen or did happen, and that if you're triggered back into that, then you spiral. Instead, like, this is showing me something. I can feel it. I can feel the emotional charge in my body. This is showing me something about me, about something I've experienced, about a part of me that I've judged or shamed. Gentleness, 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 gentleness is the key here. Loving self-awareness is the key here. Sending you so much love.